Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a Fandom in Rooview. Haven't done one of these in a while, but oh man, we're in the real news, people. We're in the real news, like twice this week. One of them was that we were trending as hashtags on the Twitters, and that's interesting. So apparently there was a poorly explain your fursona meme going around on the Twitters, and that got so many people involved that yeah, we were trending on the Twitters for a little bit, just for a little bit. Kotaku did an article on this particular aspect. I'll put a link in the description below. I didn't do it myself because I'm not a meme man. I'm not part of the. I'm not a part of the. I'm not a part of the conformist crowd, man. That's why I wear a suit. No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're like, bullshit. Bullshit. What was that? I got something caught in my throat. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't do that whole poorly explained persona thing. I guess I'm gonna have to really think about it, but I'm not very creative in the weird abstract thinking kind of thing. Speaking of visual arts, the next article was from New York Mag, and they talked about furry artistry for some reason. And it was interesting because it kind of took me aback, and it was kind of cool. But it said that indie artists are like finding that furries are a very welcoming place for visual artists trying to make ends meet, and they were very positive at like the furry fandom being very good at being nice to their artists and compensating them and having this unique aspect within our culture that individuals need art of their characters. They each have their own personas, and to not poorly explain, so they don't have to poorly explain their persona every time. They typically have to get art done of them. They have to do drawings of them. Now, for a character as simple as mine, I'm just some red kangaroo person. I've got like one or two pieces of art, and that was fine with me. This character developed after like years and years of pushing around. It's like it's like I was a wolf, and I was a kangaroo, and then certain things. So your persona develops in time, and sometimes people will get art of their old one and then go, oh well, I gotta get a new one. So I gotta get another drawing done so that I can have a reference for my character. So there's a demand for art in the furry fandom. However, know that in the furry fandom, we are individuals. We're not big corporations. We're not big people trying to and I think that has also caused a very interesting dynamic with our artist community, where we do respect our artists and we do wish to pay our artists, but we can't afford to pay our artists like professionals can pay their artists. But from what I understand and what I'm seeing is that visual artists seem to be finding hard times trying to get work and be respected by even professional outlets. I saw something on the Twitter where there was like some grocery store going, well, if you want to draw art for us for exposure, you can do that. And then basically like the artist turned around and wrote a little classified thing that basically was basically saying, man, give me free groceries for exposure, as a counterclaim to that particular little terrible ask, like that whole like give me free stuff. And the furry fandom isn't free of that. As much as the article likes to go, man, the furry fandom really respects artists and really, really does. And I could say the culture of the visual artist in the furry fandom is probably they're probably the most respected individuals within the community. Though that is changing a little bit. I think that, as things become more saturated, and things are, and different branches of the furry fandom are growing about, costume designers are starting to become on equal footing with a visual aspect of the visual things. Writers... Well, no, I don't think so. Writing will always be its own different beast. as far as like visual versus written works go. Written work will always be kind of a niche because you gotta like reading, you know what I mean? Reading's a little more intensive than just browsing artwork. I mean, you could browse artwork and get a lot of stuff from a visual item than you can in words. Because as I say, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? 1,000 words takes a little time to read. Picture, just you can look at it and go, huh, that's a nice picture. Click. And that too is why in the furry fandom you might say, well, they're very respectable artists, but at the same time, we take it for granted. And I think we really do take it for granted. We have so many good artists, we have so much good talent here as far as artists go that, you know, from day to day we have at least like a gallery's worth of like images every day that we can put on, you know, a website, and like every day you have all this new art coming in, and you know you start to feel like, well, okay, then, you know, I'm seeing all this stuff for free, and it's like, and people could take the fact that there's a lot of effort and a lot of time taken into these projects, and you know, because of that, they might not think it's like, well, people have to pay for this stuff. And there are a lot of passionate people who like to compensate the artists, and there are a lot of people who put their money down. And to those people, good on you. I'm a stingy jerk. No, I don't ask for art, but I don't pay. Like, so it's like, if I were to ask somebody to do art for me, or, you know, do work for me and do artist work or something like that, I would pay them. You know what I mean? But I don't ask that all that often, because it's like I'm pretty comfortable. You know, I'm not like, oh my god, I gotta have this artist thing. I'm not like an art fiend, which is very weird in this fandom. I feel like kind of an outcast. It's like when Flinters, who I had draw me one of my pictures once, and I'll put a link to that. Like, he's like, man, you haven't asked me for any new drawings yet, and I see you're still using that as an icon and stuff like that. And he's like, that's fine, but it's like, you could tell it's like, when are you gonna buy another piece of artwork, man? When are you gonna do it? You gotta pay me, man. And it's like, I want customers. Let me draw you something. You give me money, please. You know what I mean? It is that thing. It's like, I want you as a repeat customer. You know, but he's fine with, you know, me saying that this is my favorite drawing of my character, and this is who drew it. And, you know, as long as you give him, I paid him for that. Obviously, I paid him for that first piece of artwork, but also that artwork can be used in order to, you know, go, hey, look, if you like this design, you can go to this person. So, but I don't, you know, get as much. There are some people in this fandom who are pretty much art fiends. They will get, every month they'll have a new drawing of their character out there somewhere. You know what I mean? It's crazy to me. I never understood that, because like I get one badge and I'm like, I'm good. And it's like I get one or two badges and I'm like, I'm good. These are good badges. I'm happy with them. And I think it's because and they did talk about this a little bit in the article, but there's also trends. And we do this thing at conventions where we do themes and stuff like that. So we kind of try to enhance this whole thing about getting on that hamster wheel and keep going, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, now the theme is Vikings, so now you got to get your persona drawn in a Viking style and as a badge for this particular convention, or, you know, this particular convention is about the workplace. Well, this is my default persona, so yay, that works for me. That was great at Furthermore this year. I was like, huh, I already fit the theme. I don't have to dress up at all. I'm dressed up already for it. I'm in a suit. And they also let me, like, I was at the pinata thing, and I had to get the bash things, but that's a different topic entirely. That was fun, though. The thing is like, so when these themes are going around, and when things are trending, and when different styles come along, like Zootopia-style characters and stuff like that, you get these new desires to have the character drawn in that particular aspect, and then so artists can catch on those trends and try to get on those trends. With another trend that's going along right now is Telegram as a system is starting to get a lot of, as an IM program is starting to get a lot of attention. So a lot of artists are going in the fact of like, well, they let you do your little own custom emoji kind of thingy. So what if I, like, say, let me give you some emojis for your persona going, I'm happy, I'm sad, and you can actually have like your persona and different emojis, and it's pretty cool. So that's another trend that's going on right now. So there is that aspect of you can't let things get too stale. But I'm one stale mother heifer, okay? I'm the stalest man you're ever gonna meet. So I don't believe in the hamster wheel when it comes to things. You know, I'm a gamer. I'm a furry. You know, I'm a political fiend, but I don't like getting on the cycles. I don't like getting on the things that everyone else gets on because I understand that it's a trap a little bit. That, you know, people will psychologically get on this wheel because it makes them feel like a social clique, and then, you know, their friends will do something and they feel like they got to go along with it a little bit too, so that, you know, they can feel like they're involved, and then the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. You know what I mean? So, like, my friend just got the newest game. It's like, well, I want to play the game with it. I want to play games with my friends. It's like, well, I guess I got to buy the new game too. It's like, well, nah, I'll find fun where I can find it. I'm a little stingy mother heifer. Yes. Anyways, speaking of stingy, so the last thing I wanted to talk about in this is, like, the furry fandom isn't all sunshine and roses when it comes to the things between customers and furry artists. It's better than it used to be, and, you know, it's always been this thing where we even have a site called Artists Beware, or we have a blog sort of, you know, group in a blog thing called Artists Beware, and I know they were on LiveJournal. They're probably on Twitters at this point. I don't know, but basically it was a blog community, which is artists talking about problem customers and people who wouldn't compensate them and things like that. So it does happen in the furry fandom. So if you're reading this article and going, like, with bright eye, bushy tail, and going, oh man, this furry thing sounds great. Everyone compensates everyone. Everyone's so nice. It's all sunshines and roses, and the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. Hold your horses. Nay, hold your horses. All right. We have people who will take advantage of you. I was like, well, could you draw my thing for free, or, like, could you draw this? I'll pay you later, or, you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. And there's also been the problem of there's the problems the other way, because as more artists started to realize, it's like, well, we need to get compensated before we start work, because that way it makes, you know, A, gives us incentive, and B, it makes sure that we don't work and then get paid later, or don't get paid later and then we wasted all that time working. If we get paid and then work, at least then we know that we're working and we got paid for it. Of course, there have been a relatively few artists that have artists, I should say, who took advantage of that system as well and would take compensation from people, and then you never hear from them again. This is particularly bad in the fursuiter world, where I hear horror stories, as I said in my first video here, my pilot video about, furry sans fursuits, where people was like, man, I want to get a fursuit, and then they, go out, they find someone who's willing to do it for them, and, for pretty good, for what seems like a, pretty good price, and then they give them money, and then, boom, they vanish, or boom, their thing never gets done, and then they're like, well, can I have my money back? And they're like, nope, sorry. And so you have that problem too. Interestingly, as a community, we are trying to find solutions to this vexing problem that's always been a problem in the furry fandom, where you have people who want to have art done for them, putting their faith that if they give money to an artist or a fursuit designer, that they're going to get their money's worth. And, also artists who put their faith that their customers aren't going to be jerks to them because they didn't get exactly what they wanted and stuff like that. The customer relationship with the content creator or the product designers and stuff like that is you know, it's in every aspect of any job that you have. It's in the furry fandom as well. So just go in knowing that it's not going to be all sunshine and roses. It's going to be a lot of hard work for a little less money than you're used to getting paid if you are a more professional artist. If you're a more professional artist, what the heck are you doing here, right? But yeah, if you're used to a little more money, furries don't have that much to give. We're individuals, and we have the money ability to pay as individuals have. And there are times where you might get somebody who basically rubs you the wrong way. Somebody who does, you know, some customer who rubs you the wrong way, does something wrong, insults you, maybe not intentionally or intentionally. Things are going to happen. And just go in knowing that while furry fandom really, really respects their artists for the most part, you know, there are always exceptions to rules. And that you're going to get the most out of it if you go in understanding that. But if you're a hard worker and you're dedicated and you're really good at drawing art and you really want to draw art for individuals, you know, and bring joy to an individual, then drawing for the furry fandom, you can go no wrong than drawing for the furry fandom. But that was a great article. It was a great conversation starter to that New York Mag. I can't remember its official name, but a NewYorkMag.com article. I will link that in the description below as well. Thank you very much for watching this video this week, and I hope you have a good week out there. Thank you very much for watching. Click the like, subscribe, and other such YouTube-isms. Do it now. Right now. Because I told you to. You're not going to do it, are you? Because you're a rebel. You're a rebel scum. You ain't going to click those buttons. I need an end card. Artists, draw me an end card for exposure. For exposure, you want to get exposure, right? You could draw me an end card and a title card, and you'll get exposure, and I'll tell them your name, and everyone will love you, and all of my 5 subscribers will see it. Isn't that too good to be true, man? You know you want to do it. You know you want to do it. You want to do it for the exposure, don't you? Just kidding. Have a good night, everyone. Peace.